Right, so welcome to my latest video, and we're going to be riding my local trails here in Rivington, and we're just going to do the first climb up, which we left the car park. There's a few different car parks around here, but the one I'm parked on is the Rivington Terrace Gardens car park. I'll put a Google Maps link in the description below. And you've got this climb which takes you up to most of the start of the different trails up here. The first thing I will talk about while I'm doing this climb up is some of the changes I've made to the bike since I published the last video. I've made a few minor changes. The first one is tyres. You might have seen on the thumbnail of the previous video that the tyres are different to the ones in the actual video itself. I swapped the original Bontrager XR5 Team Issue tyres for Maxxis. I've got Maxxis Holy Roller on the back and a DHF on the front, and while I had the tyres off, I took the opportunity to fit Cushcore front and back. And the reason I did that is because on one of my rides I damaged the rear tyre running lowish tyre pressures and managed to put a nick in the sidewall, and it wouldn't hold pressure. It was like having a very slow puncher. It would go down over time, so I had to replace it. I didn't want to put tubes back in, so I went with the Maxxis. And with the Cushcore, obviously that should mitigate the risk of doing that again. So I feel I've been riding for about a month on that setup now, and I'm very happy with the performance of the tyres, the grip of the tyres, and also the feel with the Cushcore in. Took a bit of getting used to at first, but now I really love it because I don't worry about getting snake bites and damaging my tyres. The other thing I've done is I've changed the brake pads. I've upgraded them to an e-bike specific high performance pad. I'll put a link in the description. They came from a company called Uberbike, and I'm really impressed with them. They've certainly helped the performance of the brakes. I mean, I'm a big rider, the bike's a heavy bike, and the last thing you want is not to have confidence in your braking ability. Right, so we're still climbing here, nice and steady though. Beauty of the e-bike is you can run these trails. A lot of the trails are quite short, but you can run them over and over again with the e-bike because the climbing's not an issue. I've got it in tour mode, which is one up from Eco. And the first run we're going to do is probably a few hundred meters away from where we are right now, so we'll just get up there. So the locals who developed these trails gave them all names. The name of this one that we're coming up to is Graveyard. Not sure of why it's called Graveyard, but that's the name they gave it. It's actually a nice little descent to warm you up and get you ready for some more of the stuff around here. It starts along this fence line here. So yeah, we'll get right into it. So as you ride along, the trail's pretty easy. Then you've got this wall which has fallen down, just a pile of rocks. There's several lines through this. There's a bit of a drop off over this wall, and then we follow the wall for a little while through the trees. Considering the amount of rain we've had up here, it's actually not too bad, this trail. It's not as sloppy as some of the trails up here. Got a nice little drop here, and then up this banking. And that's it. Okay, so we're going to go now and do a little run that's called the ice cream run. We're back on the main trail back up to the all the other little trails. That's just off to the right. We've just passed. That's where the graveyard run starts, and we're just following this this road, this gravel road, up now to the Pigeon Tower. So there you go, that's the Pigeon Tower. So the ice cream run is starts here. Some people come up the ice cream run, some people go down it. It's very rocky, can be a little bit tricky and technical in places, but there's always chicken routes through it. So this is actually a legal road, so motor vehicles can come up here, and in fact some of the four-wheel drive clubs come up here and come up, try and get up. I've seen quite a few come into difficulty, and you'll see why in a minute. Thank you. Some very sharp drop-offs here, and very rocky. Picking a line through it, and you're always going to get a few rock strikes on your bottom bracket, and thankfully this has got a bash guard on it. Just up on the left hand side there's a banking with a footpath. You can go down that way, but you just got to be careful for hikers. Oh, there's a large group of hikers coming up, so just scrub some speed off. Thank you. Normally at the bottom here there is an ice cream van, hence the name Ice Cream Run. But the weather today isn't fantastic, and I doubt it's going to turn up today. No, he's not here. He's normally parked here at the bottom. Okay, so that's the ice cream run. So now we're going to head up to the Pike. The Pike is the structure on the highest point of this part of the West Pennines. Very popular spot to come hiking. Easter weekends, this place gets very busy, especially Easter Sunday. People come up here with their hard-boiled eggs to roll them down the hill, and they've been doing it for many years. But it's also a popular place for mountain bikers. Get some great views, and I'll show you when we get up there. So to get to this, it's in the previous section where we got to the Pigeon Tower. Instead of going left towards a Pigeon Tower, you turn right and it brings you up towards this. You can't really miss it, you'll see it. As always, give other trail users a bit of space. Often they don't expect you. Just coming behind you. Thank you. And there it is, the Pike. You get the views out to the west there. You can see on a clear day, or you can see it now. You probably won't be able to make it out on the video. I'm talking to the video camera. Yeah, you can probably make out Blackpool Tower on a clear day. I can see it, but you won't be able to see it on the video. You see out Morecambe Bay, and if you look northwest you'll see the Lake District, and if you look southwest you'll see North Wales, Liverpool, North Wales, and panning round, yeah, you can see North Wales, and you can see the mountains in North Wales. And over to the east you'll see the Peak District. So it's great views out here. But we've not come here for the views, we've come here for the riding. So let's go down the back side of the hill here. It's can be quite tricky and technical, and if you haven't rode it before, some quite big drops. And then it gets just like a regular trail. Quite fun. And having an e-bike makes it even more fun because the climbs aren't tortuous. Thank you. Hello. And that is Rivington Pike. So now we're on George's Lane, and that's again a gazetted road, so you can put that in Google Maps and you'll find it. We're heading, I think we're heading south. So this gate here, there's a bike track there. That's the start of a trail called Tea and Biscuits. I'm going to ride Wilders Wood, which is adjacent to Tea and Biscuits, and see what the conditions are there. And if the conditions aren't too bad, I'll come back and ride this one as well and give you a look at Tea and Biscuits. I don't know who picks the names, not me, but I think it's a cracking name, Tea and Biscuits. It's definitely memorable. You probably want a cup of tea and biscuits after you've ridden it as well. But Wilders Wood is a nice trail. It's through a wooded section of this area, and it has a lot of roots, a lot of exposed roots, so it's quite bumpy, but it's not as, doesn't get as muddy as Tea and Biscuits. There's one section of Tea and Biscuits, there is a local business that has llamas, and they take people for llama trails, and they go through there, and the llamas churn it up quite a bit, as well as the mountain bikes. So this is the start of the Wilders Wood trail. So we'll see what the conditions are down here. Actually, doesn't look too bad. Thank you. See what I mean about the roots everywhere? Can be a bit of a bone shaker. You've got to watch that edge as well. There's a bit of a drop off there. It's not too muddy down here. You go through a gap in the wall here, and then this, you got to go right on this side here, and then there's a drop off here, and that's Wilders Wood Run. There is an easy climb back up. It's bitumen most of the way, and with the e-bike obviously it's takes the effort out of it. So yeah, we'll go and do Tea and Biscuits. Might as well, be rude not to. I'll just come up this this is actually steeper than it probably looks on the video. Quite a steep incline. And now we're back to George's Lane. Right, so you can actually go that way there where my finger's pointing, and there's a big drop off, and following that drop off there's an immediate right turn. So I would say that that is a black, maybe even double black if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, that's that we won't be doing that one today because I've never done it. I'm building up my skill level to get ready for doing that one. So we're going to go down the more easier route this way. And right on cue, the llamas. Is it quite muddy in there?
Not too bad, actually.
It's not too bad? All right.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going that way. Yeah. Well, I'm not going down the steps. I'm going down the trail at the side there.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay, so so that's where you join the trail, the main part of the trail. So you just saw the llamas come through. And this is the way they came, and this is the way we're going. You can see there is a little bit of mud around, but I'm going to try and avoid it as much as I can. Only because I spent several hours the other day cleaning on my drivetrain, and I don't want to have to do it again so soon, and I'm lazy. So rather than blasting through, I'm just going to nimble through. Try and avoid getting too much mud caked on it. There you go. And that is tea and biscuits. And this is where we came out before at Wilders Wood. So we're back to that climb again. Okay, so we're back on George's Lane again. We're heading back towards the Pigeon Tower. So we're going to go and do Special K. There's a trail bike coming up here. They've got the right idea. Engine. I suppose this is an halfway house. So I think I should probably give you my 2-month impressions. I've had this bike now 2 months. Probably a little bit more than 2 months, but there and thereabouts. Give you my overall impressions of the bike. What can I say? It's bloody awesome. I was a bit skeptical about buying an e-bike, and a friend of mine was badgering me about it. Oh, you got to get one. You'll ride more. You'll have more fun, and you'll do more of the stuff that you love doing. And you know, I have to hold my hands up and say he was correct, because the e-bike, it just takes some of the effort out of the climbing. Obviously you're still pedaling, you still have to put, you know, you still have to put some input into the crank and get the thing moving, and the motor provides the assistance just to take some of the slog out of it, and you can get up hills a lot quicker. Take that Rivington Pike, from the car park to the Rivington Pike, I can get up there in about 10 minutes. You wouldn't do that on a conventional bike, excuse me. I'm suffering with a bit of hay fever at the moment. So yeah, it makes an enormous difference. And with this Bosch system, you can choose the amount of power you want. So you've got an eco mode, which gives you around 100% power over what you're putting in, and gives you the longest battery range. And then you've got tour, which is the next level up and a little bit more power into the drivetrain, reduces your range a little bit. And then you have EMTB, which I think is a sweet spot for most rides that I do. You know, easily do a 30 mile ride with on EMTB. And then you've got turbo, and to be honest, I only really stick it in turbo if I've got a really long climb and I want to get up there a little bit quicker. But it's not necessary to have it in turbo. So yeah, I love the fact that the bike is really planted, doesn't feel skittish, and that's probably because it's a heavy bike. So it's planted in the corners, and with these tyres are very grippy. I've never really had any issues with the bike feeling skittish, and I just enjoy getting out on it. I'm out on it every weekend, and I never used to ride this much on my previous mountain bike, which was, again, it was a great mountain bike, but it didn't have the battery and the motor. So coming to places like this where you're doing you have to do a lot of climbing to get the downhill sections that you want to do. You know, if you're going to session some of the sections up here, having an e-bike really does make a big difference. And yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough to people who haven't tried one yet. And touch wood, I've not had any technical issues as yet. I look after the bike, maintain it, clean it often, make sure the chain is cleaned and lubricated after every ride, and hopefully I'll get many happy miles out of it. Okay, so we're at the top of the trail known as Special K. There's actually two lots of trails down here. I'm not sure what the other one's called, but that's the if you can make that out, that's it there. Goes off that way to the right, but we're going off to the left, so I've got to lift the bike over the fence first. And this is probably the only negative of owning an e-bike, is the weight. If you have to lift it over stuff. So we'll get into it. The locals have spent a bit of time up here developing some of these trails. They've put a lot of effort and work into it. Well, up to now it doesn't look as muddy as I thought it might be here. Careful here, there are some steep drops to the side, so you gotta make sure you pick your lines and commit to them. So I've come down here quite slow today because I'm not sure what the conditions are like, and I wanted to check them out first. And that's Special K. So this is a nice little section back to the van, but frequented by hikers as well, so you've just got to keep your eyes peeled for them. They're generally not going to be expecting you. This gets quite muddy at the end, so if you can do it, jump off the edge like that and avoid the mud. If it's a good time to go back to the van, it looks like the weather's turning again. It's been like this all weekend. Very changeable. Got back just in time.